What's up, everybody? Josh Woods with Dog Psychology 101, and while I'm hiding from the heat for a few minutes, we are going to look at some of the comments on our videos and see if I can find one that we can answer, because some of them are a little complicated. So the question is, how do I get my dog to socialize with people? He doesn't let hardly anyone pet him. I think you meant doesn't hardly let anyone pet him. I don't know what to do. So, A, if your dog is nervous about people wanting to touch them, stop letting everybody touch them, at least for now. Because socialization is a good thing if done appropriately, which means it has to be done individually to the dog that you're trying to socialize, and what are you trying to socialize them with or to. And so if it's humans and trying to get them more comfortable with people, you're more looking towards what did they not like, about the interaction, or maybe it's the entire thing at all, just being present for just being present around people. So A, don't let people engage them that way, right? Because the big part is how do they interpret what's going on, and trying to not desensitize them, but reassociate what they're feeling with people. So people, like, it's my other videos about how not to approach dogs, in my opinion, especially nervous, sensitive dogs. Your dog is obviously not wanting to be touched, at least not in this moment, so coming in is not going to help. So you've got to help block them, because A side is not letting people do that. B side is letting them just be in the vicinity of people who are not putting pressure on them, which includes eye contact, talking to them, trying to give them treats or toys. If this seems to kind of open them up, if you're presenting gifts, that might be okay, but paying attention to when the dog becomes retractive. When the ears go back or the head goes lower, they start to slow down and they're not so, they're not warming up to what's going on. That's where you've got to slow down and or stop, or kind of go back to square one, because you're unraveling all the progress you're making once they start to feel uncomfortable and you just keep pushing forward. And you've got to train the humans. There's more to this, but when somebody's trying to engage with your dog, they've got to really know what they're doing, and you've got to guide them. It's if you come in to try to pet a dog, which I don't think you should come in and just try to pet the dog. I hold the hand out low and do like an invitation. If they don't come over, that's already them saying no, and they're not into it. And so I don't push the situation there. Now, I might try a toy or a treat or doing something playful, depending on the dog. I'm assuming this is maybe a younger dog. It might not be. But sometimes you can't find that they want any of that. And the best thing you can do is actually just make people leave them alone. Don't stare at them. Don't talk to them. We've tried all of these things and it's not working so well. And your hope is through some repetition and some consistency that they're in the presence of people. And I kind of call it they've got to kind of come to this little conclusion of, I didn't die. It wasn't as bad as it was before. And dogs are really good at associating, especially from their history. And there's a big part of it to me is, like, I want to make dogs, their assumptions wrong. If I can see that a dog is getting tense because they're assuming I'm going to come try to pet them, touch them, or engage with them, whether I was or I wasn't, I change what I'm doing, and I try to make it seem like, to the best that I can, that that's not what I was doing. And that has worked countless times with me gaining trust and building a relationship with a dog who a lot of people seem to struggle with. But it's so individual. There's so many cases where, and hopefully this is where you are, that it's not that complicated, but I think finding a way to make things positive, most of us are pretty good at figuring out if that option's on the table. What I think a lot of us miss is not paying attention to the fact that they're not having a good time, We are allowing them to feel nervous and anxious, and we're pushing them into it. And you can't talk every dog out of being shy with new people. It's just the way it is. And if you've been trying this for a while and that's what's going on, you're dealing with, you know, for whatever reason, with whether it's just strangers or anybody other than you or your family, the dog's got a little bit of an introverted side, and a lot of it comes from history. If you pull the thread on it, almost every dog on this planet has experienced humans coming in, and we stare at them, and we get in their face, or we move towards them, and we try to touch them, and your dog's shy. And so that's the experience that they've had probably over and over and over. And as human beings, this is what we do. And we try, you know, the more nervous they seem, the more we get into that squeaky, high-pitched baby voice, and we try to convince them that we're okay, and it doesn't work for every dog. Yes, there are plenty of dogs, and I've seen this myself, that once they realize that you pet and you love and you do all these sweet things, they come out of the nervous place and then they're good. But if that's not working for you, I'm going to say stop, slow down, and it can take time. You know, not every dog's going to turn around with just a person or two. And that perseverance is a big one, and not jumping in too big. You know, I wouldn't be out at the dog park or out about, you know, a bunch of strangers. Start small, just a person or two, and feel it out and go slow. But in a nutshell, my advice on that is, if you pay attention to your dog, and you got to have the ability to have a controlled situation going on. So obviously if it's people, you need to be able to communicate on when we're going to stop doing what we're doing. Stopping, pausing, waiting, relaxing. You know, if I'm looking at a dog and they start to give me any signs of being uncomfortable, and my goal is to build comfort with new people, something as simple as I make eye contact, and the moment I see them starting to shift the way they feel, I break my eye contact. You know, you can still look at the dog peripherally without making eye contact. You know, paying attention to what you were doing. Stop engaging. Stop going forward. Pause. Just pause. Take a break. Hold for a second. Because normally, if you just hold and pause and stop doing whatever you're doing, they will, you know, given a little bit of time, they'll de-escalate. They may even take a little breath. And then you can reevaluate, you can try again. If that's not working, slow down and shift your tactics. You're normally moving too fast. Shy dogs, you gotta just be slow and patient. And again, I talk about it all the time. If you watch the dog will teach you. Sometimes you gotta get out of your brain. Remember, they're more like a child's brain. See the world from their point of view. Try to feel how they feel. And you gotta use your empathy.